Let none mistake the purpose of this treatise. No challenge is here made against the annals of accepted history, nor is any heretical doctrine proposed. This is but a foundation of imagined lore, woven solely to serve as the backdrop for a cycle of fictions.
They came from the west, Zodos and Kolvar, riders of the Elysium coast, children of sea wind and black iron, not merely men, but Atlanteans, the blooded firstborn of their lineage, taller, harder, keener, more. Steel rang beneath them. Their armor gleamed dully in the haze of distant firestorms, not bronze, not iron, but the true gift of Elysium. Steel. They were wrapped in it like gods in thunder. Chain and plate, perfectly tempered, fitted to muscle and movement. The world had no name for such forging until the Elysian forges named it. The world had no counter for it still. Except Mu. But that was heresy, and they would not speak of Mu here. Zodos led. Black-haired, amber-eyed, steel in hand. A mountain carved from sun-burnished wrath, his helm etched with the wings of the sky serpent and the 3 stars of the western house. His spear, long as a man was tall, bore the mark of the Leviathan War, when he slew one of the last sea dragons from atop a coral cliff. Kolvar followed, a shadow beside fire. His armor smoked faintly with hidden runes. Beneath the plates, he wore the Kolshatra, the staff of fire. Steel cord and coiled with mechanisms unknown to men of this age, it was crafted by the king's one-eyed engineer and the laughing alchemist of the Crimson Halls, both mad, both brilliant. And they brought it because spear and sword might not be enough. They rode across the Deadlands, east of the central grasslands, through a place the farmers now called Godfall. Once fertile, the fields had blackened. Wind no longer stirred the high grass. Trees bore fruit that pulsed with light and screamed when picked. Villages were abandoned, cattle were gone, women had vanished. One shepherd boy had been found hanging high in a tree, twisted backward, eyes open, teeth all removed, but no blood spilled. The elders whispered of a beast. Some spoke of a griffin, some of a were-ape, others of a winged god with a face of burning glass and a voice like thunder. All agreed on one thing. It came from the sky, and it left only ash and silence.
"This is no curse,"
Kolvar muttered, eyeing the scorched stone circle they passed.
"No,"
said Zodos.
"This is a visitation."
They camped on the edge of a ruined altar ground, long since abandoned to the weeds. The stars above were wrong. Too many. Too bright. And then, a hum. A sound not made by throat nor claw, but something deeper. A thrumming note, low and constant, as if the sky itself was a machine winding up. Kolvar reached for the safety catch on the Kolshatra. And so, they waited, in the dark. But for 3 days, and 3 nights, nothing came. Then the terror.
Oh, by the gods! It's here! It's here! Get inside, hurry!
Oh, thank the gods you did not leave.
They were already awake when the screaming began.
It's heading toward the ridge.
Zodos rose with a hand on his sword. Kolvar was faster, already armoring his breastplate with a hiss of magnet seals as the scream twisted through the trees. A long animal cry, but no animal made it. Too ragged, too intelligent. Then came the thunder. Not sky thunder, not storm thunder, but machine thunder, a howl of bent lightning layered over a bone-sore hum. From the hill to the east, a sick light flared green and unclean. The two Atlanteans leapt onto their steeds and rode hard through the line of tall trees, hooves pounding like drums of war. Steel shimmered beneath them as they raced, both armed with blades, hair snapping like banners in the wind of their momentum. As they broke through the last line of ash trees, the world changed. A clearing, vast and raw, and above it, the thing. A shield-shaped object hung in the sky like a silver wound, glowing with green light so intense it seared the eyes. Arcs of emerald lightning licked the air below, and from the crumbling village below, two forms were pulled upward into the glow. An old man clutching a girl, both screaming, limbs flailing in air that no longer obeyed gravity.
By the moons!
Hissed Kolvar.
That is no beast!
He armed the Kolshatra mid-gallop, an impossible act for a lesser man, and fired. The blast cracked like thunder fed through a furnace. The shot punched into the underbelly of the disc, hammering the green core with burning Elysian fury. There was a ripple, then a roar. The girl and the old man dropped, falling into a hay pile below, as another bolt from Kolvar's staff slammed into the vessel's rotating ring. Zodos, already snarling, dug his heels in. His mount tore forward even as the disc began to rotate wildly, green sigils flaring, light bending into strange geometries. Still riding, Zodos drew the long spear from across his back and shouldered it. With a sharp breath, he braced, aimed, and threw hard. A thunderclap followed. The spear coughed smoke, violently shattering through the shiny exterior, with brutal force slamming into the spinning ring of the vessel. Meanwhile, Kolvar charged past. He reloaded by feel, fast, mechanical, near instinct, working the breach and slamming the next charge home without ever slowing his mount. The disc faltered. Lightning spasmed across the sky like torn nerves. And then the invader began to fall. A bubble of crackling force briefly sealed the vessel like a lightning womb, and then something internal ruptured. A horrible whine echoed as the craft twisted and fell, carving a gouge 2 stadia wide across the nearby cliff face. A trail of scorched stone and smouldering trees marked its path. Kolvar reached the wreck first. The air shimmered with static and the smell of metal blood. The hatch hissed. From it stumbled a thing, thin, on fire, screaming. A long-limbed figure with glistening black eyes and a head swollen like a priest's tumor. Its skin boiled. It squealed like a burned rat, arms flailing for mercy or threat. Zodos, unmerciful, struck first. A boot crushed bone. Kolvar followed, spearing it through the head. It twitched once, then was still. Behind them, villagers emerged, wide-eyed and shaking. They pulled the girl and the old man from the haystack, alive but fainting. Others gathered by the wreckage. Some wept. Others merely stared at what lay inside. More figures, thin, alien, unfamiliar. None were of Atlantis. None had ever been seen before, and none of them spoke a single word the world had ever known. And so, for generations, the tale endured of our people's great victory, our triumph in the great interstellar war of the Central Elysian Plateau. We know that something is out there, amidst the cold celestial vaults, watching us still, perhaps with envious black insectoid eyes. But let any Lemurian scrap-handler or gap-toothed tinker from the rust-slicked realms of the Pictlands boast they invented flight, or claim to have discovered its secrets. Quaint concepts. We Atlanteans, we confiscated that wisdom, ripped it from the goddamn sky itself. And they're not getting it back. Not now. Not ever. So saith our bold Atlantean Skyforce, and the discs of war they now command.
Som då hållna, alla sådana tror, klara, klara, klara,